So nam aloha. So welcome. And today I'm going to be talking about the new moon that is happening in about 25 minutes my time. So I feel the energy already. And how was your week? I had a crazy week, really, really dark and heavy. I've got an EQ of 6. If you guys know the emotional intelligence, mine is 6. That means I go into the pits of hell, and I get like pumped out, right? Pumped out of the pits of hell into the light, into the light. So being in the pits of hell is not fun, but coming out of it is, because a lot of wisdom comes from that process. So I'm not completely like pumped out yet, but I wanted to come on here and talk about the new moon. So the new moon is activating the 50-second gate. So this is perfect guidance, right, from the universe, especially now because there's so much chaos on the planet, and you need to remember that you're in the Great Awakening, and everything that you're seeing out here on the external world is unfolding perfectly. And I know that may sound callous and flippant from others who don't understand what's going on in the world, but this is just our awakening, the great awakening of humanity, where the unconscious needs to be made conscious. And like I said in that last short video I did, it's really about your powers and your response, right? And how you respond to what you're seeing out in the world. That's your power right there. And doesn't mean to close down your heart and not have compassion for what people are going through on the planet. We are all going through our stuff and our challenges, and it's to awaken and remember that the ego is being dismantled right now. So everything built on ego, which is fear, basically, is being dismantled. It's being dismantled now. So we're seeing the breakdown. The circus tents are coming down, and we're going to be rebuilding. So with my Phoenix fractal, the people on my the women on my Phoenix fractal, and of course there's, I think, 2 or 3% men according to my analytics, but mostly women. This is about getting you aligned with your soul purpose, because you're on my fractal. If you're Pluto in Scorpio, you've got a stellium in Scorpio, you've got a stellium in the eighth house, or your black moon Lilith is in Scorpio. Or if you resonate with my message, you're included, you're part of this fractal. So you have a great destiny for the Phoenix fractal. And so it's time to start moving forward on your soul purpose and come out of hiding. So this is more guidance to get you there, basically. And this is really good guidance. I have this in my Venus. I have the 52, exactly 52.1 on my Venus. So mention that in the comment or the chat if you've got the 52 natally. And there it is there, down here at the root chakra. So as soon as you see this root chakra center, immediately there's a pressure. There's a pressure here. So the moon is, what is the moon telling us, this new moon? Well, it's telling us to stop. It's telling us to pause. The 52, the shadow is stress, and the gift is restraint. And this is a very big challenge, because the world wants you moving and being productive and distracted right now. Because when you pause, right, firstly, when you take a pause, why you don't pause, why people don't pause, is because their stuff starts to come up, everything that they've been suppressing, right? Emotionally, spiritually, mentally, everything that they've been suppressing comes up, right? So that, and then they're able to connect with their own inner voice, and that's their intuition, that's their own inner authority, their own inner authority. So the world wants you busy and distracted. So this is a superpower, to be able to restrain yourself, right? So this is the Buddha gate. So let's look at it in terms of my fractal, the Phoenix fractal here. Well, what's it going to reveal? It's going to reveal your nervous system's addiction to stress and chaos, right? So this is like raised, you go back to your childhood, go back to your childhood. If you were raised in emotional storms, there was emotional chaos in your home, right? There was abandonment threats, right? Abandonment threats in your home, over responsibility in your home. You were over responsible for your siblings or even your parents. You were became more of the parent than your parent. Um, right? So stillness, right? So you're used to that. Your nervous system's used to that. It's programmed that that's familiar, that's safe for you, right? Is this stress? So if you stop, right? If you stop, this can feel like being forgotten, right? That you're losing relevance. It could even feel like a death to stop, to stop. And it's true, it is a death. And you're here to go through the death rebirth cycle, right? You're a phoenix, right? You're a phoenix. So the death is letting this old self go that's addicted to stress, right? So this can come up for this new moon cycle for you too. Um, and then this here is exposing give exposure of like giving to karmics, your karmic relationships, and this is unbalanced giving where you do all the giving and they do all the taking, and it's about you, this false self, not self, that feels like she needs to earn her love. That can come up too because you're going to stop and pause, right? It's like a reboot. You're going to reboot your computer, you're going to reboot you. And this is like stopping doing what you've been doing. Take a pause. This is a time to take a pause in your life. Um, and then birthing the high priestess frequency, right? And the high priestess frequency, she is chill. She's relaxed. She's in her power. She's not in fear, right? That's this, the not self. This high priestess, and a lot of you are this, most of you are this, you're in hiding, you're hiding your power. So it's time to come out of hiding now. You've got a big destiny. 2027 is coming quickly, right? We're already, what, more than halfway through June already, half the year. So, so this is about you anchoring, right? So birthing this frequency is about you anchoring. So you're not in reaction, right? You're in response, and this is when you're in your power. Um, and this is when your true Empress energy starts to come up, right? The divine feminine starts to be really embodied in you. So physical symptoms that you can experience right through this activation of the 52, you can have neck and shoulder tension, and that's a sign that you're resisting stillness. You're resisting stillness. Your mind starts to go crazy with distractions, right? This is when you want to put down the phone, you want to silence, no notifications coming in, right? Put it on airplane mode. And then this is about taking a pause, right? Because your subconscious will actually start to send out a signal out into the world. And then your crazy karmic relationships are calling you up with a crisis. They keep you in this loop, right, of stress. There can be sleepiness or disorientation. And this is the nervous system detox. Great thing for the nervous system that I started taking on the regular is magnesium. That's really good for your nervous system to calm down at nighttime. Do left nostril breathing too, is also a yogic way of calming yourself down. You can be crying without a story. Like, why am I crying? I don't know I'm crying. This is your emotions. Your emotional body is just starting to discharge because you're taking a pause, right? And this pause is not just about this lifetime and the crazy chaos, right? Nightmare childhood that you had. I know probably there's some good stuff there too, but if you're on my fractal, it was crazy and chaotic and not relaxing, right? That that this is also about your past lives, right? your past lives. I remember feeling that. It's like, oh, this weariness, lifetime after a lifetime. It's just, I just want to be in the Shire, right? I want to be in the Shire, drinking my Hobbit tea, right? Smoking my Hobbit pipe. And it's like, no, it hasn't been that way, right? But now it's time to learn to relax in the crazy chaos. And that's the best thing you can do for the planet right now, is to be in your power and sending out that vibration of integration, that you're not faking it. You're not spiritual bypassing. Oh yeah, I'm all in peace, peace, love and light, love and light. That's me. It's like, no, you've done the work and you've integrated, and then you can truly send out that frequency, right, of peace. Okay, so you don't be worried about that. And then avoidance of quiet or empty space. And this is trauma leaving the body. Trauma is leaving the body. This can be like the fear and the terror comes up. Just let it come up. It wants to leave, right? It wants to leave your system so that you can come out of hiding and come fully into your body. So you're safe to stop. This is what I want to tell you. You're safe to stop. You're safe to rest. So what comes up, right? Well, if I stop, then will anybody be there for me? Right? If I stop, will anybody be there to support me? Right? That's a big question, especially if we've got all these balls up in the air all the time, right? That you're doing everything. Well, you're going to learn who's there for you. You're going to learn the truth of these karmics, right? So, but you're going to be there for you. The divine will be there for you. You're going to open up. You're going to relax, and you're going to learn to receive. Divine feminine, you need to learn to receive in this lifetime. It's part of you being in your power, right? And trusting creation. Creation wants to serve you, but you have to be you. And being you means that you're relaxed in your body. It's about trusting your body. Okay, so we're going to go deeper into this, and I want to talk about the tortoise. So this is the power animal. The power animal is the tortoise here, for Gate 52. Okay, so the tortoise. Remember, I talked about the turtle. You're like, oh well, what about the turtle? The turtle lives half time in the water. Tortoise is fully on the land. Turtle goes with the 14th gate, right? But tortoise goes with the 52. So it's about the root chakra, it's about focus, it's about stillness. That's the gift, right? Is stillness. This is the Buddha gate. So this is the totem of the mountain. The mountain. So the element of tortoise is the earth, all right? Land, he's grounded, unmoving. She too, if she's a female tortoise. And then the pace is glacial, right? This is like the literal embodiment of stillness, moving very, very slowly, and very, very slowly, not letting your mind. The thing is, when your mind's racing, you can't keep up with everything your mind has in its head. It's like you've got to be in charge of your mind now. And that means being relaxed and fully embodied, right? So, tortoise, just even bring up this image and like just imagine, right? We've had lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes in the animal world, in the mineral world, in the plant world, right? You can tap into your past life as a tortoise. Right? So the symbolism here is inner discipline, unshakable presence, rooted silence that brings clarity, that's your intuition, doesn't flee, and withdraws inward, goes inward right now. So the behavioral energy here, the tortoise will sit for days, months even, right? Not going anywhere until there's a worthy reason. Probably the introverts can can relate to this, like to get yourself out of the house. It's got to be a really good offer for me to get myself out of the house, right? So this is like the tortoise. It's got to be really good for me to get out of that, do something. That's what the tortoise says. So in Gate 52, the tortoise is the mountain. So you don't move. You own your body. You hold your field, right? This is what this cycle is teaching you. Your wisdom is going to come flying up when you finally stop, right? And projectors can so relate to this, right? With living in a generator, manifesting generator world. I remember being at Ram Dass Puri, the big Kundalini yoga summer solstice, right? Thousands of yogis would come each year for 10 days, and we would do white tantric yoga. You know this, the lines and lines of people, and you would sit across your partner, usually male, female, right? Eye gazing, and then you would do mudra and mantra and just crazy stuff, right? 8 hours straight. And I remember I was a monitor that year for some. I can't remember why I was a monitor. They needed a monitor, so that means watching. And so people were warming up, right? So they all had their 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 eyes locked, optical nerve locked, like looking at the tip of the nose and chanting Satnam or Waheguru or something like that. But I remember having this awareness of, oh, most of these people are generators. I could feel it, right? I could feel most of the people. Statistically, it's going to be more generators, manifesting generators. And I just thought, what? I was a projector. That was like my dream, right? That all the generators and the manifesting generators in the world would stop, finally stop, look at their nose and chant Waheguru. Even to do that for 11 minutes on the planet, if every generator, manifesting generator did that, the world would shift. Our consciousness would completely shift if they just stopped, right? And paused, right? Stopped and paused and went within, because you can feel that generator energy, right? It was like like motorcycles, right? Revving. Let's get going. So so you want to own your body. You want to own your body. That means being fully 100% in the body, right? I own my body. You own your field, your electromagnetic field. This is by your presence, and you aren't reacting. You're just absorbing. Right? You're witnessing everything around you. And when the world is in chaos, the tortoise teaches us how to conserve our energy and then wait until the exact right moment to emerge. So it's like to be the polarity. The world's going to be getting more and more crazy and chaotic, right? As it starts to on all these systems and things start to break down and unravel. The best thing for you to do is to be that calm presence within the storm for people, right? So that's the tortoise. And then I wanted to talk about the father, right? The father wound. And just a reminder that this is happening July 18th to the 20th, the online retreat, Healing the Father Wound, according to your chart. So you'll be working with your own unique father wound chart. And this is about energy, right? It's your energetic system that's missing something, and you don't even know you're missing this until you have it, until you find it and you discover it. And this is this inner masculine energy, right? And remember that the Pluto and Scorpio is my fractal line. They had a Jupiter or Saturn Neptune conjunction in Capricorn, the late 80s. And so this means no father. Father disappeared. Father was either there, but not really present, or father was gone with his new family, just not present at all. That's part of the destiny of this fractal line in particular, is that you are here to discover your own inner authority. That's the greater purpose. But you need to to spiritually develop. You know how you need as a child, like just physically practical things, right? You need food, healthy food to eat, and water to drink, and shelter, like basic things like that. But you spiritually, you need things too, right? In order to develop and mature. And so one thing that's missing is the inner father energy. So it doesn't mean that it's not there. It means that you have to let go of the false father template, blueprint that you've taken on, and then this allows the actual divine father to come into you, right? And this is when you can relax, right? You can relax more and more into yourself. But anyway, I have some things on my website if you want to learn more about that. But let's just talk about this 52, because the 52 is definitely connects with the father energy, because it's stillness. It's about stillness. It's the mountain, still mountain. So I just thought of that. It's in my Venus. That's interesting. It's like a little switcheroo for me. Okay, so wind father is the wounded masculine, is the wounded masculine. So the wind father. So think of your own father right now, if you can. And the wind father moves constantly. He can't settle, stay, or ground. He's always got stuff going on, right? Busy, 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 ungrounded, moving constantly. Unpredictable. Sometimes he's soft, sometimes he's destructive. He's moody, he's up and down, right? He's up and down. He's a banana spine, right? Wind father. He talks a good talk, but he never commits. He doesn't follow through on his word. He picks up and disappears without warning. He's just gone. He just picks up and goes, disappears without warning. Never arrives. He's always passing through, right? He's never, never present, right? He's always jumpy. He's never present. So where the mountain says, this is mountain father versus wind father, the mountain says, I'm here and I will hold. I'm here, I'm present, I'm with you, I'm connected to you, right? The wind says, I don't know what I want. I'll be back later. Maybe, I don't know, right? I'm in the flow, whatever, right? I'm in the flow. That's the wind father. So in the father archetype, the mountain father is present, he's calm, he's regulated, right? His emotions are regulated, he's steady, and he's safe. So the wind father is inconsistent, emotionally absent, unavailable, or volatile. So he may be physically present, but energetically checked out. Or he may leave entirely through avoidance, right? Workaholism, addiction, illness, cheating on your mother, literal abandonment. That's the wind father. So you can see, you get a little sense of like, let's look at how it affects you with the wind father. So you can see the effect here. And it's interesting right now. We're in a time in our world where the family is really not, honored and respected or valued. That's part of the breakdown. And especially the masculine, right? And the father. It's like, we don't need a father, right? We didn't just need a sperm donor. But they don't realize, or maybe they do realize, that there's an important part that the father and the mother play in your spiritual development, So what happens with you? How does this affect you if you have a wind father, right? Well, there's restlessness. When the mountain wasn't present, because this is what you want, is that's the healthy father, is the mountain father. That's the divine masculine energy. When the mountain wasn't present, your nervous system became the storm. Your nervous system became unregulated, right? Activated. So without a calm, steady nervous system of your father to co-regulate, right? You as a child, to help you to regulate as a child, he was there to teach you that. You learn to scan for danger constantly, always on edge, looking around, right? Looking for chaos, right? Because it was familiar. To self regulate from a place of control, trying to control your environment rather than regulate your own nervous system. So it wasn't coming from a place of safety, it was coming from a place of control. You learn that love equals anxiety, it equals over responsibility, it equals crises. That's what you believe that love is, right? With the wind father. So this can show up in your nervous system as exhaustion, migraines, adrenal burnout, and a fear of true rest, like real rest, where you completely relax and let go. Because resting means dropping your armor. Real resting means dropping your armor, and that never felt safe. Never felt safe. So there can be a distorted inner masculine here. So without a healthy masculine modeled to you, right? The mountain father, you didn't get the mountain father, you got the wind father. You built one from survival, right? So this is your inner masculine. We both have both energies. We have the inner masculine and the inner feminine. So what's happened with the fractal line here is without the healthy masculine model to you, you built your own. And so this was achievement driven, right? Really goal oriented. You became a perfectionist. You stuffed your emotions. You took on the I'll hold it all myself. I'll do it all myself energy. And any kind of very suspicious of any kind of surrender or softness of the feminine qualities. Very, very suspicious of that. So you either went over masculinized yourself. So that's like I'm the boss. You took on the boss energy. I got it. No, I don't need any help. Right? I got it. I'll do it all myself. Or you collapsed into the wounded feminine patterns of people pleasing or martyrdom and self abandonment, or both. You may play a little bit of both. So, either way, your inner masculine becomes rigid or absent. Your own inner masculine energy becomes rigid or absent. And this is a mirror of the father wound, right? So, this is how you navigate through time and space, how you move in the world. That's your inner masculine, how you stand up for yourself, how you assert yourself, how you can take care of yourself in the material realm, right? It all goes back to the father. Okay. And then there can be with the wind father, there can be an addiction to abandonment loops. So when the father was inconsistent, absent, emotionally shut down, or he fled, a relationship template was created. And what was it? The belief here is the one I love will leave me. The one I love will eventually leave me. So this becomes familiar, even addictive. So this is like leaving you, like maybe they're your karmic, because the wind father is your karmic, the karmic masculine that you attract into your life based on your father. This isn't just like, well, he just left, right? He packed his bag and left. This is like he'll leave me, meaning he'll neglect me. He won't notice me. He won't notice me because somebody can leave you, um, not just in body, right, but energetically can leave you, emotionally can leave you, disconnect from you. So this becomes familiar and even addictive. You expect it, right? You expect it. You don't even question it because it's so familiar. So unconsciously, you'll attract emotionally unavailable partners, twin flame chasers and runners. This is where this wound comes from too. Situationships, right, that mimic the energetic absence of the father. And this replays the pain over and over. It's a loop, right? This karmic loop over and over and over until it's made conscious, until you're able to see it. Oh, yeah, this is coming from my father. The same feelings I had with my father is the same exact feelings I have with this karmic, right? It's an echo. And remember that the false twins, your karmic relationships, are there to mirror the pain and the wound and trigger it over and over and over again. They're not meant to heal it. They're just here to show you it. And then karma's done and you move on. So the Phoenix fractal for you guys, you divine feminines, the absence of the father transmuted your understanding of love into pain, right? This is how you associate love with pain. If I hurt, it means I'm loving deeply. If I'm suffering, it means I'm loving deeply. Intensity equals intimacy. That chaos, right? It means it's intimacy. So suffering proves my loyalty. Self-abandonment means I'm being loyal, right? Remember, I talked about those false contracts that are going in my last video. So the mountain father, if you would have had a healthy mountain father, you would have been taught the stillness of real love, right? So this is not the chaos, the addiction, right? The addiction to the chaos. That's that it's actually real love is stillness. Stillness. So in his absence, you sought transformation through chaos and often mistaking it for spiritual depth. When it was just chaos, it was based in wounding. And then there's the fear of being held energetically. This is also a sign that you've had the wind father, right? But you've got a deep desire for it. I fear it, being held energetically, but I also have a deep desire for it. So you're craving a masculine who will stay present through your storms, your emotional storms. They're not going to run away, give you the silent treatment, walk out the door because you right because you have raged or wept or right or unraveled, right? They're not going to react or flee when you rage, right? You're drawn to this as a divine feminine. This is natural for you. This is what you want, what you need, right? To really like break down, to have the breakthrough. So you remain, the divine masculine will remain emotionally attuned without needing to fix you. So you're raging, you're weeping, you're unraveling. The divine masculine isn't trying to fix you. He's just holding you energetically, letting you go through that process. So this can terrify you because you've never truly experienced this, right? So you may test the masculine unconsciously. Divine feminines, right? The feminine nature tests the masculine. This is what they do. And it's unconscious. But you also sabotage, right? You sabotage the connection. When you do come across a divine masculine, you'll sabotage it. You'll run away when it does appear. And this is coming from this wind father, because this is what you're used to, right? So the spiritual gift is alchemy through the void. So this is the sacred side. Let's look at this. So you're here to trust from within, right? You're not waiting to be rescued by the white knight, right? You're trusting within. You are allowing that inner masculine to come forward in yourself. So how do you build it? Right? There's a lot like the retreat. We're going to go deeper into this stuff, especially with your own unique father wound that you have to work with through your own devotion. So that's devotion is commitment to your own heart, keeping your heart open, discipline. That's your sadhana practice, your spiritual practice, your discipline to restrain yourself, not react, right? And respond in divine partnership, right? That's going to really help too to rebuild your internal masculine, and often through divine partnership with your higher self first, and then that you become a conduit for true sacred union. So the divine feminine's on a twin flame journey. The divine masculine's not going to come in until you embrace your own divine masculine energy, right? And because then there's a resonance, then you're sending that frequency out, and then the divine masculine shows up, right? So this is important work for you to do, especially on the twin flame journey. And then remember, my fractal, you're destined for a twin flame connection, right? Libras rules your 12th house, right? That's the twin flame house. So once this false father image, this wind father is released, right? Whatever it is, the white knight, maybe the charismatic showman, right? The hero, the abandoner, whatever you want to call this false father image. You open to the masculine that doesn't play, prove, or flee. That's the divine masculine coming in, right? You're not going to be attracting this wind father anymore, because this is what you have to, these karmics that come in, is just so you can see the wound. Oh my God, he's just like my father, right? The same stuff is happening. Well, with him, I like chose my father. I can't believe I married my father. Well, this is so you can see it. Okay, I got it. Thanks. Right. Thanks for the information. I'm going to take this. I'm going to go deep with this. I'm going to heal this. right? This wound, and then you open yourself up to the real masculine, the divine masculine that can meet your divine feminine. Doesn't play, not a player, not here to prove or to flee and abandon you or reject you. What you're doing is you're calling in the mountain. You're letting go of the wind. I don't need this wind anymore. I need something earthy and grounded. And that's the mountain. That's your divine masculine. Okay. And then we did that one. So the wind father, right? So in relationships, if you grew up with the wind father, it's like you're not going to trust stability. It feels foreign to you. It feels boring. Oh, that's boring to me, right? That's a good sign that you had the wind father. That's the chaos, right? That's your wounding. This is what you want is stability. That's the mountain father that you didn't get. You chase the ones that are unavailable and they're emotionally unavailable. They're physically not there, right? They're not emotionally there for you. You're over giving, you're people pleasing, you become, right? It's your way of feeling worthy of what I can do for another person. You interpret distance with your karmic relationship as a sign I need to try harder or I just need to accept it, right? This distance, or I'm just used to it. I'm just neglected in relationships because I had a wind father that neglected me. You associate love with effort, not ease. You crave the mountain, but you magnetize the wind until you heal. You crave the mountain, divine masculine, but you're magnetizing in the wind until you heal. And that's to own it. It's time to own it. So energetically, the mountain is your root chakra is activated, right? You're healing and your deep nervous system feels safe. Your nervous system feels safe. And then the wind energetically is air energy without earth. And that's head centered, all up in the head, right? Not in their body, evasive and in and out, not committed. The wind, right? The wind here. Okay. And then there's the mountain father, right? The mountain father. And so this is rooted in stillness, the mountain father, which leads to the divine masculine. So this is what this new moon cycle is showing you, the 52. It's rooted in stillness, not control. The mountain father holds presence without demanding attention, right? So this is the wind father. The wind father wants to be the center of attention. Everything is about me, 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 right? Regulates instead of reacting, regulates their own nervous system, deals with their own emotional state and their whatever is going through them instead of reacting and trying to control their environment. Anchors safety through his body, not his words. And divine feminine can feel this. You can feel when a divine masculine is present, right? It's you're picking it up not through his words, but through his body. What his body is at the mountain, right? Is emanating that frequency of stillness, safe. Doesn't chase, rescue, or collapse. He just remains, right? He remains. He's not going to collapse when you have your storm, your divine feminine storm, which is natural for you and healthy. Feels deeply, but doesn't project his feelings onto you. Like, you're making me feel this, right? Allows the storm without becoming it, not collapsing in the storm and joining you in the storm, whatever you're going through. You just want to be energetically held as you go through this. The storm moves through you, right? So don't make it wrong. When I'm going to do another video on rage, somebody asked me about that, and that's part of the divine feminine storm that they go through. It's natural for them, right? And it's just like, um, anyway, I'll talk about that later. So the mountain father energy, divine masculine energy, is unshaken by rejection, chaos, or your testing, unshakable. protects through calm containment, not punishment. So it's protecting you through their containment, which is their presence, not punishing you. Waiting for truth to reveal the next step and not forcing things, not bullying, making things happen. That's the wind father, the weak masculine. So, how the divine masculine feels to the divine feminine, well, she finally feels safe. She feels safe in her body. She feels safe to express. She feels safe to unravel and unwind, right? She's seen. She feels seen without being exposed. She feels seen, right? High priestess in hiding finally feels seen with the divine masculine there. That's what you're waiting for, right? Within yourself first. Held, you feel held without being controlled. You're met in your chaos without being mirrored in your pain. So the divine masculine is not mirroring you. This is the karmic, mirrors back your pain, right? Pokes at your pain. But the divine masculine sees you in your pain, has compassion for you in your pain. It's not trying to fix your pain, just allowing you to go through your pain, right? And invite it into surrender. The divine masculine invites you to surrender to the divine and not to submit, right? It's not about submitting to the weak masculine. It's about inviting you to surrender, right? And to let go and to finally relax. Okay, so that's the 52. And what else do I want to talk about with the 52? I think breathing. Okay, so that may be challenging for you with the 52, right? Especially if you're someone that's busy and has a lot of responsibilities. I understand that. But there's power in you. There's power for you to stop and to pause and to breathe, right? So there's a space this that relates to the 52, a pranic space, and it's between the sex organ and the perineum. There's a little spot there. So you want to visualize that you're breathing into that spot, like you're inhaling into that spot, and then you're exhaling slowly and to calm yourself down, to calm yourself down. And this slows down time, right? It slows down time and to get you out of a stress space and to get you out of a mental loop. And that's the anxiety and the sleeplessness, out of the shadow. So this is the time we're in right now, divine feminines, that you are responsible for your own state of consciousness. You're responsible for your own experience of what life is bringing you. The quality of your experience, that's up to you. So if you find yourself in a shadow state, which is to be in fear, then breath is a great way to pull yourself out of that fear, out of that the anxiety and the mental loop, and to bring yourself into a calm state, right? And so this will be a lot easier when your inner masculine starts to come online, right? Because you need that energy. So please, if you're feeling the call, like, yes, I need this, it's going to be a very relaxing weekend, but also intense, right? So relaxing and intense, and also like a deep awareness of what is holding you back. And you really need this, right? Divine feminine, you really need this to really embrace your own inner masculine. Okay. So please sign up for that if you feel called. Okay, so let's go to a quick reading here. Okay, the reading for the fractal line here is I'm using the Marseille tarot deck this time. And it's one of the oldest tarot decks, the original. And there's a correlation to the Cathars in the Marseille. So this is why I wanted to start to work with them. And they're very powerful, powerful energy. So let's see how this goes. So this is for the fractal line. This is for the new moon and the the 52nd gate. So you see the anchor card here is the lovers card here. And I thought it was really interesting, and I'm just noticing this now. That's the Empress. Right underneath that, that's the Divine Feminine card. So what is this saying? It's saying that if you resonate with this message, you're standing at a soul level fork in the road, right? So do you choose reaction or do you choose presence? Do you choose reaction or presence? Do you choose conditional love or sacred, right? Or a sacred relationship, right? This isn't about romance. It's about choosing the right frequency to build your life upon. So this is a good, right? This is the message of taking a pause and taking an inventory of like my choice moving forward in my life. What kind of frequency am I building my life upon, right? And the energy should be really showing you right now what's not in truth, right? What's not in truth is going to crumble in your life. Whatever is dying in your life right now, it's because it's not meant for you. It's not resonating with you anymore. So what pressure are you carrying in silence? So you got the Page of Cups here. So this is the sweet, sensitive inner child, right? And so you're overwhelmed by the pressure to mature, do better, stay calm. But inside, you're holding a vulnerability and that you don't know how to express this vulnerability. So you're not just tired, you're emotionally raw and seeking emotional safety. Your inner child, the little inner girl within you, is seeking emotional safety. So this says that you don't need to. Don't put your inner child like, if you're driving a car, you're not going to let a little inner child drive the car, right? So this is just your emotions feeling vulnerable here, and you're seeking emotional safety. Like the world's falling apart and there's all this stuff going on, and I'm sure you've got your challenges and your cross to bear, but this is for you to talk to yourself that everything's fine, everything's okay, and that you need a mountain. Your inner child needs that mountain, needs that divine masculine energy, the internal energy, right? That it's okay for you to feel before you move. It's okay for you to pause, and it's okay for you to feel and express your emotions, that it's okay. And you be the mountain for your inner child, your emotional body. Your emotional body is basically your inner child. They're interchangeable, right? So you be the mountain and allow this to happen. And then this brings you clarity. You have no clarity if you're stuffing in your emotions, right? So, how are you misunderstanding stillness right now? And you've got the Seven of Wands and the Ace of Cups here. So this is you're seeing stillness as a weakness, and this is totally our conditioning, right? If you're not moving, if you're not productive, then you're weak. There's something wrong with you, right? Or a lack of progress. You got to be always improving, right? On the last thing, you've got to always be achieving, performing, right? So this is the conditioning that you're letting go of here. So, but really, your true emotional renewal is the Ace of Cups. Can only happen through rest, right? Your heart's not going to open unless you rest, right? So the Seven of Wands is all about defensiveness, that you're bracing, you're armoring yourself, you're closing down your heart, you're fighting, right? So you're fighting for space instead of just surrendering to it. And this is like, I'm fighting, I've got to do all this work so that I can have time to myself, right? You're doing it the wrong way. This is the opposite way. This is the old cross of planning way. Your way is to surrender. Whatever you're doing, you can be busy, but you can be completely surrendered, right? Completely surrendered and taking your time, taking your time. So the medicine here is stillness is not stuckness. It doesn't mean you're stuck when you're still. It's the only way that you can hear the voice of your own heart is when you're still. Is when you're still. And remember, you can be still in your busyness. You'll get to that place. But to start off with, if you're new to this, then definitely make some time to yourself to be still. What hidden wisdom is only available through the pause? And then you got the Queen of Cups here. So this is emotional mastery. It's sacred witnessing. It's very intuitive, deep intuitive knowing here. This is the wisdom that will come when you stop and rest. So if you stay still long enough, the Queen of Cups arrives inside you, this power, right? So the Queen of Cups is teaching you to sit with pain without drowning in it, right? Feeling it, just feeling it. You're not overwhelmed by it. You're just feeling it. You're letting it pass through your system. So the gate 52, the gift here is restraint becomes radiance when the queen holds the chalice, right? She's holding the chalice there, the cup, without flinching. So she's able to be with her emotional body, right? Be with her page of cups here and allow those feelings and emotions to surface, breathe through them, have a cry, release, right? And this is a maturity, it's emotional mastery, not to be afraid of your emotions. And then what inner masculine wants to emerge through stillness? And look, you got the King of Cups. That's the counterpart here, and the Six of Wands. So this is the emotional, mature masculine is ready to rise here. Not reactive, not rescuing, regal, compassionate, and anchored. So the six of wands, this is the victory card, says that he's ready to be seen, but if he leads with his heart, not his ego. So this is the father energy here. What, right? I will not move to fix you. I will stay until you feel safe in your own emotional wave. This is the father that many, many didn't have, right? And the one that you're learning to become, even as a divine feminine, right? So I say there's big payoffs to pausing with this new moon cycle. These two powerful energies are wanting to emerge within you. And what will begin to blossom if you surrender to the still point? The 52 is all about getting to the still point, right? In stillness. And this is the Knight of Pentacles with the Three of Cups here. So this is slow, steady progress towards genuine community. This is your soul tribe here. And connection, genuine connection, and celebration. So this isn't the fake tribe, right? Look at me, right? Look at all the things that I did, attention seeking, blah, 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 completely overlook you, don't notice you, take advantage of you, shallow, shallow, shallow. This is not this. This is your true soul tribe. So this is the real ones who meet your depth, right? They see you. They see you and you see them. So the Knight of Pentacles moves with devotion, not speed, and that creates the foundation for soul joy. The Three Cups is like, joy, celebration, reunion, right? Coming back to your soul tribe. You probably know them from your past lives. So there's a celebratory energy there. So this is the people that you will meet crave connection and intimacy, right? Real intimacy, real connection. And they want to feel safe with others, but only when this happens, when they feel safe in your own body, like you feel safe in your own body first, right? So, so the overall message here is that you're asked to pause, not because you're stuck or you're sick. You're just asked to pause, to take a pause. And this is because you're becoming emotionally sovereign. And the lovers here at the core you'll choose the love that holds. You'll choose the steady love that holds, that's present. You're not going to choose the love that flees, right? That wind father energy. And you're not here to fight anymore. You're here to feel and anchor and rise as both the King and Queen of Cups, which is really interesting because it fits with the message of earlier in the video. And this is through the mountain of your own presence, right? The mountain of your own presence. Very, very interesting. Okay, and then let's go for the twin flame and false twin flames. Okay, so remember with the twin flames, you're here to awaken. You're here to become into union with yourself first. Okay, so let's do the true twin first. And this is the tower. So this is the sacred pause before union matures, right? So this is the awakening shock. So the union has undergone, what it's saying for the true twin flames is the union has gone through some kind of shock or awakening, or is going through that right now, right? So this is the soul shaking, right? So the soul has started waking up for the twin flames. And then what happens when the soul starts to waken up? The ego starts shaking. The ego starts collapsing. And this is false timelines, right? It needs to be this time by this date, or I'm done with that. That starts to unravel and dissolve, and then any codependency, right? Twin flames can't bring in any sniff, even a sniff of codependency. They're letting go of these old paradigms, these cross-planning bargain contracts, right? That I talked about in my last video. They're letting the true twin flames are dissolving those contracts. So those have to go. So that's as the soul starts to wake up and it comes into truth. It comes into truth, and that other stuff has to go because it's built on fear. So it's not destructive. This is not destruction. It's not anything to be afraid of. It's liberation through rupture of what's false and not true. So the tower falls not to punish, but to reveal the truth, right? That's beneath the illusion. So the gate 52 says to be still and feel the rubble settle, right? So just be still in this process, whatever this process you're going through, just be still in it and wait till the rubble settles here. And then the 8 of Wands here, that means energy's moving. So this is energy moving very, very fast, but beneath the surface, beneath what you see in the 3D. So things can look like they're paused, like nothing's going on the surface, but energetic movement is rapid. So which means there can be dreams, there just can be a sense, right? Sensing the twin flame in your field, right? Synchronicities, right? You may have seen a lot of synchronicities, seeing their names around, seeing numbers, repeating numbers, things like that. This means things are pulsing below the surface, right? That's the spirit. The spiritual realm is communicating to you. So something is aligning very, very fast, but it's not ready to land yet. So the 52.1 for the new moon is just says just because you're still doesn't mean that nothing's happening. There's a lot happening beneath the surface. So being still doesn't mean like it's being blocked, right? It's like stuff's happening beneath the surface. And then you got the Knight of Pentacles again here. And this is steady devotion. So this is slow and determined process of integration. So this is your inner masculine, right? Divine feminine. So this is your inner masculine is starting to come online with this 52 if you pause and be still. So this knight does not rush, right? He delivers only what's real. It's a pentacle. Only when it's real, then he delivers. So the true twin is preparing something tangible as a foundation, an offering, and a right time to move. It's all about the right timing. So this is resonant stillness. It's not avoidance. It's not avoidance. So things are moving. And then you've got the Three of Cups in the Lover's card here, right? And this is the Three of Cups in the Lovers. This is the bond is still alive because it's the Lover's card, even in separation, even in separation, right? So there's a lot that is not going on in the 3D, but in other realms, there's a lots going on. This is what this reading is saying. So the bond is still there, it's still alive. So there's joy, there's memory, there's spiritual communion, and possibly even interference because there's the a three there. So this could be karmic. There could be karmic connections here, projections, old relationships coming back. There could be some interference here. But at the soul level, because we always go to the soul level, um, you want to ask yourself, do I choose sacred union, right? Do I choose sacred union in this lifetime, or do I choose comfort and security? That's the karmic. The karmic offers you comfort and security, but it's a trap. It's a soul trap. But you get to choose. Do I want to be comfortable? Do I want my body? It's all about my body comfortable, my ego comfortable, or do I want to grow and evolve as a soul in this lifetime? Do I choose sacred union, which is the highest, most elevated form of relationship, or these twin flames? So um, the real lovers, like the sacred union, no, this energy knows what true love is, unconditional love, and the rest of it knows that it's just noise. It's just all talk, right? It's all talk. That's what the karmic, the sacred union knows what true love is, unconditional love. Um, Okay, and then Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is that's the twin flame card. So this is sacred union awaits. Is awaits. It's still there. It's still alive. So the foundation for real union is already building. That's what this card says. It's not a fantasy. It's not a delusion. It's not chaos, but it's the kind of home that holds two whole beings. This is energetic. So, twin flames who choose peace over drama will reunite in stability. If they choose peace, if they choose authenticity, right, then this awaits. So, this is the gift. This is the key. It's the 52. It's to become still. Here, that's the key. So that's very, very good for the twin flame. So let's read this from a false flame lens. Um, So this is the lovers imitates purpose, right? It imitates a purpose here. Um, with the collapse of an illusion, right? So there's this. There's the tower card. So this is the collapse of an illusion that's happening if you're in a false twin connection or your karmic connection. You can read them both, right? If you have a twin and a karmic going on at the same time, you can read them both. So this connection brought chaos disguised as chemistry. As chemistry. So what looked like activation was actually the breaking of old trauma patterns. So it looked like it was a twin flame connection, but it was no, it was breaking down trauma patterns within you. It was never built on truth. It was never built on truth. It was a test. It was a test. And so the tower collapses because the foundation that it was built on was fantasy. You both came together in a fantasy. In a fantasy. You projected on each other. You didn't really see each other as your authentic self, right? So now this is collapsing. So the Eight of Wands says that there's trauma, cycling, spiritual bypassing here. So lots of downloads, texting, emotional ping pong, declarations of this relationship is faded, but it's not grounded in reality. So the energy moves too fast to integrate. And if it burns that quickly, it won't last. The karmic relationship. If it burned really, really quickly, it's not going to last. And then the Knight of Pentacles is the breadcrumbs, the breadcrumbs of hope. One partner often is offering you just enough to keep you in hope. Hopium, right? Dealing you hopium. So this is the karmic masculine moves slowly, right, at a snail pace, but not because he's devoted, because he's not committing. He's non-committal. The karmic is not committing to you. He does not want to move forward on his spiritual journey. So false twins delay with no intention to build, right? This is a delay, a distraction, right? Delay, distraction. And then you've got the Three of Cups and Lovers here. So this is third party drama, the illusion of choice. So this is entanglements, other entanglements, hot, cold behavior. So, right, this is the triangle theme. There's a triangle going on. Um, so this is projecting on one another, and it's not love. It's the high of being wanted. The high of being wanted here. Um, Not for yourself, for who you really are, but whatever is being projected on you, whatever fantasy is being projected on you. And then it's followed by the crash. Oh, he really, really wanted me, right? He so desired me. And then the crash comes because it wasn't built on truth. It wasn't built on truth, just fantasy. And then the Four of Wands in this position with the false twin is the fantasy of hope that never lands, the fantasy of hope and home that never lands. So the connection felt at one time, the connection felt like this is the one, this is the one. But the promised safety never arrived. The safety never arrived. So there were moments of magic, but there was no container. There's no container, no sacred structure, no divine masculine here. Just the dream of it, right? Just the dream of it that never arrived. So in the true twin, just to wrap it up here, the true twin flame union, stillness is your integration. So that's your word, right? For the next couple weeks. Stillness. And this is what's going to integrate. What's going to integrate for you. In the false twin dynamic, stillness means avoidance. Means avoidance. So in the true twin, it's integration. Stillness is integration. False twin, it's avoidance. So the 52.1 is saying let it collapse. Let everything collapse, even if you're in a true twin or false twin. Let everything that's false collapse. And what's real will remain. The only thing that's real will remain. What's true will remain. And what's not will burn away. Right? But you become still in this process. In this process. Okay. So that's what we got for the 52 here. And what else do I want to say? Just a reminder about the online retreat that's coming up. It's like a little over 3 weeks now, isn't it? Yeah, July 18th to the 20th. And we'll be working with your own individual chart. We'll look at your individual father wound, right? Based on your chart. And that's what you're going to be working with. Of course, there'll be teachings, Kundalini yoga and meditation, amazing technology, some other things and exercises, and just go on my website and read more about it. And if you get the zing, if you feel like you're being pulled to that to this experience, please sign up, because we need more divine feminines that are awake and ready to rock and roll for the cross of the sleeping phoenix, right? This is the archetype of the phoenix is totally yours, right? And it's all about going through the process yourself, and then you teach others and guide others. to do the same. Okay. So I will see you in the next video or sooner. I don't know. I'm giving from outflow. I'm doing a new approach to how I do my videos, but you'll hear from me soon. Okay. So namalo everybody. Take care. Take good care of yourself. Bye bye.